here today.
Thank you for having us.
I know that, Brian, you have a very personal connection, and it's kind of why you got involved. I want to get to that in a moment. First, Brian, though, for those who don't really understand even what the Visiting Nurse Association does, could you get into that a little bit?
Sure. The Visiting Nurse Association of Ohio has been serving the Cleveland area for almost 125 years. It started in 1902 with a small group of women who were focused on just taking care of communities that were underserved in the Cleveland area at that time, and we've continued that mission ever since. We focus on providing skilled home health, hospice, and mental health. We're one of the few mental health home agencies in the state of Ohio, and we continue to service the greater Cleveland area and Northeast Ohio.
So they are visiting homes. They are going to you to help those who are going through hospice care and those of their family members as well. And Brian, that is where you come in, because you were very touched by this organization at a time that was very hard and difficult for your family.
Yeah, it's really truly a blessing to just to operate in the way that I do within the agency to care for people.
Do you mind, are you okay with explaining a little bit about how you first were introduced to what they do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like if our own personal stories can't be used to encourage others, to comfort others, then you know, I think that's the importance of the things that we go through in life, is looking at the bigger picture and being able to see that. So my first interaction with the Visiting Nurse Association goes way back to 1991 when I was 18 years old. My father was diagnosed with colon cancer, and at the point where it was terminal, we had VNA hospice come in, and you know, it's tough being a teenager as it is, right?
Yeah.
Just to navigate life and identity and who you are, and then to be confronted with those things. And you know, there's a lot of things that are fuzzy that I don't remember, but things that really do stand out is that you know, in a time when you feel like you have no control, you have caregivers that come in and give you things that you can do. You know, as people, I think we're very purpose-driven and task-oriented. We want to do something, but what can we do? And so many people find it uncomfortable to confront these situations because they want to do something, but they don't know what to do or what they can do. And some of the things I recall is the nurses coming in and teaching me how to operate the morphine drip, machine, how to set up the hoses, how to check the line, how to do that. They gave me something I could do to help, because
Yes.
that's all you want to do, is you want to help your father, right, when you're in that situation. And so it was really encouraging and helpful to be able to have things, to know that I could talk to him, to know that even if he seemed like he wasn't responsive, he could still hear me. Teaching me those things allowed me to have moments that I'll never forget, like playing his old jazz albums, and just as he would just snap his finger, and that was the only response that I would get from him, playing those old jazz albums.
So that you felt like you had more of a family there supporting you in a way with
Yes.
this organization. And then, but this I think too is important to remember. It's not just end of life. I feel like there's such a stigma around hospice care and what it all involves, but who really can benefit from this?
I think that a lot of patients who are at a point where they're just ready to move forward in their next level of care, when they want to choose more of comfort and peace and a dignity to the end of life, versus continuing to go down the path of a curative treatment or something that's more aggressive. And I think a lot of people do, to your point, they have that stigma. They think that this means that this is giving up, when we tend to look at this more as it's just a reframing of our goals. Instead of the goals being that aggressive treatment, trying to maintain life, trying to improve the overall health, we're instead trying to improve the quality of that time. We're trying to improve the dignity and the comfort that comes with that.
And the mental health aspect of it, that is huge, because in witnessing my mother go through the end stages of life, mentally, it took a huge toll on her. So just the mental aspect, I think, is something very rare that you guys offer.
Yes. We're one of the only home care agencies in the state of Ohio that provides in-home skilled mental health, and is also recognized by the Adams Board and Medicaid as a community mental health agency, which is like being an outpatient mental health center on wheels, where we can go out and take care of people in their homes. So people who are persistently mentally ill, people who are dealing with depression and anxiety, people who are getting older and starting to deal with dementia and Alzheimer's on top of behaviors. So it allows us to really treat them across that lifespan. And the unique thing about VNA of Ohio is that idea that we have that full continuum of care where we do have hospice, where we do have the skilled home health and the mental health. So we can move people easily within those different service lines and programs based on whatever they're going through at that point.
And Brian, quickly, I know how meaningful this was that you end up getting involved. Now you work for this. So clearly you were very touched by how this affected you as someone who was a caregiver at the time.
Of course. I mean, this really wasn't my plan, right? But I think we come to find that if we just keep stepping forward and doing what comes to us and answer those callings, that we can find ourselves in a position that we never would have imagined. And and the miracle of this all is that I get to walk into those homes and I get to engage with those families and bring them that spiritual peace.
And that's what you do, again, with the Visiting Nurse Association. I thank both Brian and Ryan for coming in here and sharing.